What's up you guys and welcome back. I'm FPL Nimfria and this is my FPL Game Week 27 and 28 review and Game Week 29 preview video. With two game weeks so close together, I decided to bring you a video covering both later in the week. Hopefully this will help explain Game Week 29 better to you guys and my chip strategy going forward. So with that, Game Week 27 was, well, good. I mean, as good as Game Week 27 can be, I guess. Fabianski got his usual 3 points against Fulham. That's 4 game weeks in a row that man has got me 3 points. I mean, it's consistent, I guess. My defence was epic in 27. All 3 of my defenders returned. Robertson was played despite meeting Man United. This was mostly because I had no choice, given Wan-Bissaka's injury and the Holebas suspension. But with an 80% accurate pass rate, 4 crosses and 5 long balls, Robertson continues to surprise me, as did his 8 points for a clean sheet and 2 bonus points. Doherty had me a little worried when he lost the clean sheet, but I was grateful for his assist, even if it was from a penalty. And lastly, you'll see Yedling in my team. As explained in my last video, I couldn't stand having the Everton players in my team anymore, and so Digne made way for Yedling. This guy impressed me. He had the same accurate pass rate of Robertson, but also had a blocked shot and 2 key passes. He might have sneaked a bonus if not for the yellow card, but his 5 points were very welcome. Well, my midfield has all the hallmarks of a blank game week team. So let's start with Punchin, who again I had no choice but to play. And well, he might have got me another point if it wasn't for Smith getting sent off, which meant Punchin got tactically subbed in the 20th minute, which wasn't great in a game week where I needed as many points as I could get. Speaking of those points, how disappointing was Sonny? I was so excited to finally captain him, but it didn't pay off. Granted, I didn't get Aubameyang and captain him, but still, I was hoping for a little more. Not even one shot on target from him, therefore getting me just the 4 points. Then we have my 3 amigos, Salah, Pogba and Mane, because they all got me 3 points. Mane is the new addition to my team for Richarlison. This was risky given he had United, and it didn't really pay off. But as the saying goes around these game week 27 parts, it was a week to take a punt, and Mane was just that for me. I had a gut feel about him, and with my strategy also in mind, he also has nice fixtures going forward and no blank. Plus, now that I have both, if Liverpool start to struggle, I can decide which I continue forward with out of him and Salah. Moving forward, as mentioned earlier, I decided not to do the Aubameyang hokey cokey, therefore meaning that I benched Aguero. So my strike force was left to Jimenez and Rashford. Rashford, despite picking up an injury early doors during this match, had to stay on due to so many other injuries. Despite this, he still managed 1 shot on and 1 shot off target. Even if his pass rate was considerably less than it usually is, with only 9 accurate passes, it did only result in 2 points for my team. Jimenez, it seems, was a little unlucky not to get something else, considering he had a shot blocked aside from the penalty, but 7 points was nothing to be sniffed at in a stingy week. And there really was no bench to speak of this week between all the blank players and injury for me. So with all of that, I got 44 game week points and a tiny green arrow, and after game week 27, I was 158,052 in the overall rankings. Before I move on to how I got on in game week 28, it's at this point I'd like to say a big thank you to you all for following me and supporting me this season. I'd like to tell you about my new partnership with the Fantasy Football Hub. As you know, I'm not on Patreon, and until I start live streaming again, there is no way to support me via Super Chat. So anything I choose to advertise, I like to think will help you guys out as well as me, especially when it comes to FPL. So if you'd like to support me and gain membership to the Hub for £1 in the first month, then I'll leave you the link in the description below and you can sign in using my coupon code NIMFRIA, all in capitals. It'll be £2.50 after that, but you'll get access to lots of cool stuff, including the famous at Ben Krellin's blank and double game week planners and much more next season. So it's just a way to support me and get a little something in return. Thank you guys so much. And with the admin out of the way, here's how I got on in game week 28. Fabianski has now gone from from hashtag TeamFab to hashtag 3pointsfab. The man has got that 3-point system down and he is owning it. Can't say I expected it against City, but I'm not gonna grumble. Moving on to my defence, and this pattern of having a no-show and then having a mega game week continues for me. I mean, I don't actually want to be in the position where I'm cheering on someone missing out in my FPL team, but the record is starting to speak for itself. As you'll see here, Yedlin, despite having a whole matchday programme based around him, was benched and did not come on to play any part in the match whatsoever. With a bench of Punchin, who wasn't even on the bench for Huddersfield, Wan-Bissaka, who was injured, and Holebas suspended, that meant I was with 10 men, and after Tuesday evening, the viewing was very bleak. Doherty, despite looking like having great fixtures against Huddersfield, felt the sting of a late goal, something we're more accustomed to seeing from Wolves themselves. Stick that with a yellow card and you get a big fat 1 point. I mean, Doherty is starting to become the next Digne. Never fear though, because Robertson is here. Wow, what a match that was for Liverpool, and I seriously considered switching Robertson to Trent when I heard he was back. The need for other transfers elsewhere for Game Week 31 players though somewhat prevented it. Thankfully, despite Trent getting a hat-trick of assists, Robertson was not letting him off that easily and decided to get 2 himself, getting him 13 points, including his bonus and clean sheet, with an 82.8% pass rate, 4 long balls and a shot off target. This is more like the Robbo we have come to know and love. Moving on to my midfield, and despite it being a London derby, Spurs, well, they forgot to show up. I mean, I can't say they'll make the same mistake twice given they have Arsenal at the weekend, but it did mean it was a quiet night for Sonny, somewhat disappointing with just the 2 points. Pogba doing, well, Pogba things, trying to copy Aguero with his new hairdo, a shot on target, a shot off target and a shot blocked. He had 2 key passes and managed to grab an assist for a happy 5 points to add to my team. Bringing me to the Liverpool lads. I went Mane last week for Richarlison, as discussed earlier, and was somewhat disappointed when he didn't get very much. It was a real gut feel, so I was over the moon when the reports came in last night of not only 1 but 2 goals. I thought I was doing well in that game till the defenders went nuts. What was even stranger was another blank for Mo, 2 in a row, and I can already hear the Mo out chants. It's not for me though. I've been there once already this season, but I can see why people are considering it, especially as I didn't captain Mo, and instead followed my instinct to captain the inform Aguero. A big risk considering his minutes in the cup. It was looking very uneasy for some time, and despite him playing well, I think it's small margins in the captaincy choice. I'm grateful for the penalty though, put it that way. Other than that, Jimenez got me 2 points, just a shot off target for him, as disappointing as Doherty. And I did make the Rashford out transfer. It was my 1 transfer. I absolutely agonised over it. Anyone who follows me on Twitter will know that. I think he will do great against Southampton and Arsenal, and so I have hashtag Rashford regret. Let me know if you're with me on that. Rondon as his replacement with 2 points, but does serve towards my chip plan, I guess. In all of that, I got 62 points and a small green arrow to 140,322. I can't seem to quite get close to that 100k again. It always seems so close yet so far out of reach. And my team value, to those who wish to know, has dropped a fair bit to 105.9 mil. Holding off on that Rondon transfer until Tuesday afternoon was the reason. So what is my chip plan? Well, here's my strategy right now, and here you can see my team using Ben Krelling's planner as mentioned earlier in my video. And surprisingly, my chip strategy is to not really have a chip strategy. Wait, what? Have you gone batshit crazy again, Nim? Well, maybe, but hang on, hear me out. So with United's double schedule announced on Friday and the confirmation that we'll not have all of the information about other fixtures until after Game Week 31, I have decided to approach the schedule like this. I will aim for a team in Game Week 31, therefore somewhat covering Game Week 33, without taking out players I have gained the most value in or want to keep providing no injuries occur, which at the moment is Aguero, Doherty and Pogba. This means I'm unlikely to play my free hit in 31, which may leave me with less players, but this strategy I think gives me the most flexibility. It means that with hopefully 8+ players in Game Week 31 and the time to reassess with all of the knowledge between 31 and 32, I can decide if I wish to 3-hit in 32 or 33 or even beyond based on all of the fixtures, all of the information and the players I want for all of those fixtures. With that in mind, here's my considerations for Game Week 29. Now on paper this team looks, well, okay. With Holobas back from suspension and a hopeful Obi-Wan return from injury, my bench should be a little bit stronger, even if they do face tough fixtures. So I have 4 transfers to make to get 10, maybe 11 man team in 31, dependent on punching playing. So 3 transfers and a -4 is needed. I would like to hold Jimenez for Cardiff and give Sonny Arsenal. I don't know why, but I feel they will beat us. So I can roll my transfer this game week and do a mini wildcard next week, removing Wan-Bissaka or Holobas, Son and Jimenez for Luiz, Vardy and a midfielder of the price left. Then leaving me with the remaining defender to move on the week after. Or I could do Wan and Holobas out for Luiz and Bardsley, or the same pair for Pereira and Keane with the exact cash. This will leave me with a heavy bench for a week or 2, but then the idea will be to drop Jimenez and Son after Son has played Southampton and Jimenez plays Chelsea. Of course, I can roll and still do the defender transfers a week down the line, leaving Vardy and his accompanying midfielder till 31, but let me know what you guys think. Captaincy at the moment is on Aguero, though I might wait on the pressers. He doesn't have a midweek game next week, so if Jesus is still out, I may risk it on the hope that Pep plays him once more before a week's rest, especially given what Arsenal did to Bournemouth. I mean, it's not silly to think that City could do similar. Though if I have any level of doubt whatsoever, like the fact Pep divers on a question about him or Jesus and then being away, then I might give the armband to Pogba instead. And that's it, you guys. I'll let you guys know what I've decided via my usual social media channels, Twitter and Instagram, and you can catch how I got on in my next video. As always, feel free to check out my sponsors fantasyfootballfix.com and please support me by liking and subscribing or even joining the hub with my coupon code. Until next time, Nymphria out.